Hi guys, Master Stairs here. We're going to talk today about how to tie your belt. I'm going to give you two different methods to use. One method is going to be the beginner method, and I strongly recommend you stick with that until you get the confidence up to the point where you're ready to tackle the advanced method. The advanced method is more proper, it looks better when it's finished, but everybody has to start somewhere. So the first thing you want to do is to take your belt and divide it into two so that there's two equal halves, and put your thumb in the middle there. So if you have one half that's too long, that's going to affect how your belt comes out. So when you finish, you want the belt, when it's wrapped around your waist, to be the same length on either side. All right? So I'm going to take the side. This is a little easier once you're black belt because you have the embroidery to help kind of guide you. But until then, use your stripes as a guide. And if you don't have any stripes, just choose a side. Okay? So we're going to start by putting the stripe side. And for black belts, if you're a black belt watching this video, I'm going to teach you how to do this so that your name always comes out properly. Everything, just like in Taekwondo, starts out here and ends up here. So if it's going to end here, that means that it'll start over here. So it has to be the opposite. So if my hand were to move, or to end here, it should start here. Just the opposite of where it's going to end up at. So same concept here. If I want the belt to end up with a face up, then I have to begin with face down. Okay, so I'm going to do this facing the camera, then once facing away from the camera so you can find the best method for you. All right, so we're going to start by folding the belt in half and find the exact middle point. And this is the beginner's method. And we're going to take this and put it right in front of the belly button, but underneath the belly button. Your belt should not be tied too high on your body. It should be right at your, we'll call it tangent area, right below your belly button, about 2 inches. Go around the back, and cross them over, come back around the front. So now from the back you can see there's a little bit of an X or a crossover, but it's not twisted. If it's twisted somewhere, that's going to affect the rest of the tying of the belt, and that's going to make your belt look unfinished and unprofessional. So this is level 10, and we're all about higher standards, so even tying your belt should matter to you. Okay, now once we get around the front, I'm going to put the right half flush against the other part of the belt that's already there, and then take the left half over the top of that, so we have a little bit like an X. Then I'm going to take this half and I'm going to push it underneath, but I'm going to push it under all sections of the belt versus making one section. So it's, again, it should be all one finished unit when you're done, not 2 or 3 pieces there. Okay, now that's pretty much the hardest part. From here, I'm going to take my opposite hand and pull this over, and then I'm going to go in with the other hand, pull the bottom side over the top, and you'll see a little loop here. Push this down through, and if you've done it properly, the belt should kind of already be going side to side, versus if you've got something like this going on, you've done something wrong and you want to start over again. When you get to this point, grab the ends of your belt, and if you're wearing a black belt then, you want to kind of turn that so it's going to feel like it's finished, and give it a couple of quick snugs. Then if you're wearing the embroidered belt, your name should go on the left, along with your stripes and the other side there. So if you look at this is pretty good. It's not absolutely perfect, but pretty doggone full. So what we've got is a pretty good length on both sides, and we can just fix that up as we need to. But the most important thing here is that you have a little diamond shape in your belt, instead of it being a kind of a twisted mess in here, which is what happens a lot of times for beginner students. But it does take time, and eventually you'll get to the point where you can do it without thinking. Okay, so that is method number 1. Now we're going to look at method number 2. Method number 2 is a little bit it looks a lot nicer when it's finished, and it's actually a little easier to fix the alignment if you've got it off a little bit. So we're going to start with your stripe side, and again, if you're a black belt, you want to start with that facing in toward you. And we're going to look at approximately how much length we're going to have at the end here, and maybe go just a little bit more, and put that right, again, in the same spot underneath the belly button here, and then we're going to hold that. We're going to go around the back, and this one's a little trickier. You've got to kind of catch it with your little finger there, and then bring the belt around you again. So it's going to go around you 2 times. All right? And the difference being in the back here, we don't have that crisscross pattern. We have a straight line with the belt from start to finish. And then you want to snug that against you a little bit. You don't want it to be so loose that it falls off of you. You want it to feel a little snugness against your body. All right? And then from there, it's pretty much the same as the other method, except everything is a little bit reversed from how we did it the other way. So we're going to start with the left side on top. Right side on bottom. I'm going to take the left side on top and snug that underneath both halves of the belt again. Push it up through there, and then we should have a pretty freestanding belt here. From there, I'm going to reach with my left hand to the right side and pull across, and then I'm going to take the right hand to the left one, and I'm going to push it up through the hole this time instead of down through. And again, we want to make sure that we're pulling side to side, not up in the air. If you pull up in the air, you oftentimes get a belt that looks like this, right? And it kind of doesn't look very good. So we want to make sure our belt looks just as sharp as the rest of them. Notice how I'm giving a couple of snugs there so that it doesn't come undone when I start throwing kicks in the class. And if you see, it's got a nice, good finished look, and the name is on the outside as it should be. All right? So that's the front view of tying your belt. Now, I'm going to do the same thing from the back view, in case you had difficulty seeing anything. So we're going to do it very quickly this time. This is the first method. Divide the belt into two. Place that right underneath your belly button. Go around the back. Come back around, and again, you want to make sure that's kind of snug and that there's not any twists and turns in your belt here. Then you're going to go left over right, and go underneath both halves and come up through it. Then the belt should be almost finished there. From here, I'm going to reach with my left hand to the right and my right hand to the left. I'm going to pull the one on the left up and go down through the hole and snug. And then we should have, again, a nice finished look. And as you can see, I don't practice this method much anymore, so it tends to be a little longer on one side for me. But if I went back to practicing that, I'm sure I could fix that in no time. Okay, now the next method, which is a little bit more advanced method, is to take the approximate length of the belt as it's going to end up on you. Go from the right side again, and if you're wearing the black belt, put the embroidery inside. Go around the back, catch the belt with your little finger there. Continue around, and making sure you're overlaying it over the same part that's already there. And you want to get the length approximately correct. And you want this side to be maybe slightly longer because it's going to go underneath, and that's going to shorten it up a little bit. But again, start with snugging it. Push underneath, so I'm grabbing with my left hand to the left side of the belt now, and pushing under both pieces of the belt, and using my thumb to kind of feed the belt through. Then from there, I'm going to, again, snug it to make sure that there's no twists or turns in here. And I'm going to take, this time I'm going to take my right hand, or excuse me, my left hand, across it here, and take the other one. Let's see. Let's go from under the belt, that's better. And then I'm going to come up through the hole this time. And again, I'm going to snug there, and we have kind of the finished product there. All right, so if you look at the belt from the entire side, it's one piece here versus this kind of stuff. This is what a lot of beginners end up with because they don't realize that one little detail there, but it makes all the difference in the world. And that is how to tie your belt. Practice regularly, and you'll get it just like you did tying your shoes.